Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So a lot of people at the tournaments and a couple people at our school ask what kind of rod and reels me and my partner use. So real quickly, I'm gonna go over it. I hope y'all enjoy. First up, I have the Kistler Helium 7.6 with the fast tip. I use this for Carolina rigs and Alabama rigs. Shimano Sitka is the reel of choice I have on here, with 65-pound braid, and like I said, I use this for Carolina rigs and Alabama rigs, and I really like this rod. It does really good. Okay, so next up I have the Kistler Carbon Steel. I use this for frogs a lot because it has a real soft tip on it, and it's a real skinny rod. So what that allows me to do is it allows me to skip real easy without having a big bulky profile. And I have a Shimano Sitka as my reel. It's a 7.2 to 1 gear ratio reel with 65-pound braid, and this is an excellent frog rod. I use it all the time, caught a lot of big fish on it, never had any problems, so I really like this rod. Next up, I have this Kistler fill-in reel. This is actually the newest rod that Kistler has come out with. It's a pretty flimsy rod, but I love it for crankbaits. I'd like to throw square bills. I don't really deep crank, and it's that Abu Gasir. I don't actually know what kind of Abu Gasir that is. I got it as a gift, but I really like it for doing this because it's got those big handles on it. It makes it easy for me to crank. 6.4 to 1 gear ratio with 12-pound fluorocarbon, and it's a 6.11 medium heavy with the fast tip. And I like the fast tip whenever it comes to cranking because it has a lot of give and it doesn't allow those fish to sling it. Being that there's treble hooks, a lot of times fish can sling it real easy. But I really like this rod for what I use it for. It's real great, and the price of it for how good it is, it's really good. So next up, I have the Kistler Magnesium 2. I really like this rod. It's really sensitive, and it's got a fast tip, 7.3 heavy with the fast tip. And I like throwing swim jigs on this because I can skip it real easily, and it's got enough backbone to drive that hook in and pull them out of all sorts of cover. Reel wise, Shimano Corrado 200, 65-pound braid. This reel does really good with this rod because it holds a lot of string and it allows me to make those big long casts, and I really like this rod. So next up, I have another Kistler Magnesium. This is a 7.3 heavy with a fast tip. I really like throwing big things, big worms, because I catch big fish on them. And this time of year, this worm really stands out. This is just a 10-inch worm. There's no in particular worm I use, but I like throwing big worms. And this rod does really good with it. It handles fish really well. It's got a fast tip, like I said, so it has a lot of give and adds to some sensitivity. 7.3 heavy with the fast tip. Reel wise, that's a Lew's Tournament Series 7.2 to 1 gear ratio reel with 20-pound fluorocarbon on it. I like using fluorocarbon instead of mono because it has no stretch, and whenever you have stretch and you set the hook, it just, you need a strong hook set whenever you're using big stuff like that. Next up, I have the Kistler Helium. This has by far done me the most damage whenever I'm fishing tournaments. I use this all the time. It 7.3 heavy with an extra fast tip. I like the extra fast tip because it allows me to flip more accurately without having to really flip it real hard. So I really like this rod. It's super sensitive, and whenever you're flipping, you really have to have a sensitive rod, and this does super good. Reel wise, Shimano Corrado E70 with 65-pound braid. I use braid whenever I flip just about every time. Some people use 20-pound fluoro. I don't, because normally where we fish, you don't need fluoro. So yeah, definitely like this rod. One of my favorites. So next up, I have another combo exactly like it. It's a Kistler Helium extra fast tip, and it's heavy. So yeah, I really like these for flipping. These are just about as good as a rod as you can get when it comes to flipping. It's super light. It's really sensitive, and the braid adds to the sensitivity. That's another reason why I use braid instead of fluoro. And reel wise, same reel, Shimano Corrado E70, 7:2 to 1 gear ratio. I like using fast stuff whenever I'm in there. That way, whenever you hook a fish, you can get them out of the bushes real quickly. This reel pairs up real nicely with this rod, so because it's real small profile whenever you're holding it in those hot days, especially whenever you're fishing tournaments. You gotta fish the 8 hours or so that you're given, and we normally stick to flipping and pitching most times, so it really pays off in the long run to get a nice reel with a nice rod. Last up, I have the Kistler Z-Bone 7-foot medium heavy with a fast tip. This rod, I use it for football jigs, and I really like it for football jigs. It does super well. It's really sensitive and really light. One of my most favorite rods. Reel wise, Shimano Sitica 7:2 to 1 gear ratio reel with 20-pound fluorocarbon, and I really like this rod. It does super well for what I use it for, which is football jigs and things like that. And I really like this rod. It's done me a lot of good in the past, and I definitely recommend it. So guys, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. That's going to be it for my rod and reel arsenal. So yeah, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all next time.